Здорово, YouTube, здорово, вас. Значит, вампир. Продолжаем прохождение. По-моему, 12-я часть, если не ошибаюсь. А, Всем приятного просмотра. Все ссылки внизу. На вас заходите, регистрируйтесь там недолго. Добавляйте в избранное. Это для меня поддержка хорошая. Также на ВАЗде есть и на YouTube, на главной странице, ссылки на телегу туда. Там все новости по стримам и вообще по всему. Так что чай, кофе, всем приятного просмотра и поехали. Письма-то можно. Давай посмотрим. Я не знаю просто. А, я, по-моему, их читал все. Это про клуб. Группа вампиров, скалы. Блин. Я, по-моему, читал. Это... У меня только тут два. Бояться не... Да-да, письма есть еще. Вот эти вот я хилки юзал. Офигенный. Там очень... Он 500 единиц. 150 единиц здоровья за 15 секунд. Вот эти ты имеешь в виду? Опасность. Песни, давайте. Девствуй. А, я понял. Ага. Ну, раз опыт дают, значит, вполне вероятно. Так, стоять.
Must be a picture of the bomb explosion Dyson Delaney spoke of.
Да. О. Да. И плюс опыт еще. Это я не знал. Погнали тогда все прочитаем. Посмотрим. Потом посидеть, читать просто. Не будем время тратить. Если дадут, что за... Лучше пообщаемся с этими, с горожанами. Так, чтобы на паузе можно было бы. О, про шифр. Это было про шифр. И это про шифр. Это я нашел возле, по-моему, немного про стражей. А здесь что за 5 писем? 5 про код. Это стражи. А, если больные, это промасочный дым. Да, 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 я, кстати, взял. Да, я про это забыл. Забыл я про плакаты, точно. Плакаты. Я их взял. Взял. Только надо это попробовать расклеить, да. И для них какие-то места специальные, чтобы расклеить или... Да, 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 да. Тут-то. Все найдем. Я думаю, какие-нибудь места есть. Про нож я смотрел, ключ. Так. Он. И про этого. О. Врача. Тут куча всего. Да не, пошли, все остальное дочитаем. А блин. Ага. Да, читать их будешь точно долго. Стрим получится охренительно. Да, 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 да. Да. О, еще что-то есть.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item.
Встречаются.
Those two have hidden their affections well.
Там говорит. Компромата тут в натуре до хрена. Да. Так, ладно, что там по плакатам? Так, ладно. Клеить.
These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters.
Вот, допустим. Нет. Блин, закрыто все.
I cannot enter.
Короткого пути нет. Придется идти эти. Куда к ним? Потому что я не видел, чтобы стены как-то блестело, какое-то место. Пока не видел. Так, ладно, нам надо Короче, где карта? Карта как? Где приблизить? Так, мы находимся, значит, вот здесь. Здесь тупик. Я выйти не могу. Мне, ну, доки. То есть вот туда мне надо. А вот. Вот здесь перепрыгнуть. Да? Да, пойдем. Вот сюда. Почеп. Охрененный маршрут. Теперь вот здесь дверь закрыта. Так. Короче. Убежище. Понял. Пойдем. Пойдем, пока нас не грохнули. Так, это что за... Метку убрать. Город, короче. 180 метров, 400. Нет, нам надо идти вот на эту метку. 180 метров. О, да, да, я говорю, только начнем с Вальчепла, там лечить надо много народу. То есть можно вылечить, можно кого-то и грохнуть. Очень надо, очень надо. Так. -2. О, ну-ка, давай разок. Да. Сейчас вот надо вот туда, Вальчепл, и с народом поговорим, и опыта дадут. Да. Надо туда. Идем именно. Да. Опа. Так. А подожди, а по кораблям. Это я могу срезать, получается. Я понял. Да. Это хорошо. Мне не придется вот так идти. Это хорошо. Почему я вчера этого не заметил? И подойти просто не дали. И все, я в доках. Офигеть. Быстро. Все, погнали. Нам надо вон туда. О, открывайся. Не обновляется. Обновляется. Понял. Все, погнали, что. А вот и первый народ. Понеслась. Так, во-первых, давай. Ты пока охраняешь. Давай. У тебя пока нет. Тут ничего нету. Сейчас тебе покажу заодно. Мы ж пока здесь. Сейчас тебе покажу этого черта, блин. Не хватает меня. О, что-то есть.
I believe. So you're.
Нет, ничего.
Can I see what you have to say?
О, синий есть. 3. Это для огнестрельного. Мне нужны рукоятки для дубины. Нужны рукоятки. Банки синие уже у меня появляются. Да, он 24. Да, скоро придется зеленку все продавать. Это что за стрельба на? Плакаты, я так понимаю, я должен вот в этом городе расклеить. Вот он. Чёрт.
Good evening, Mr. Fishman.
Yeah.
Вот он. Вот, загипнотизировать я его не могу. Его надо по-любому грохнуть. Просто обязательно.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishman.
Такие не должны по городу ходить. 2700. Вот 3-й уровень тоже. Ладно. Ладно, пошли. А мать его вот здесь живет. Здесь я был. А, даже так, да? Я понял. Блин, ну конечно ни стен, ни блестящих. Ничего нету.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Минус крыса. Ага, здесь конченые стоят. Погнали. Там упал. Да хороший. Вот это херово. Может быть, но про него пока ничего нет. Информации нет. Сейчас просто добежим до того города. С врачами можно поговорить. Тоже потом. Давай, хочу туда добраться. Здесь я помню. Так, это мы в больнице были. Пойдем еще опыта ультанем. Минус. Так. А вот этой баржи, по-моему, не было. Так, это туда. Вот, и тут мы оказываемся в больнице. Погнали.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Да, здорово. Так, что есть? Что нету?
Goodbye, Mr.
А ничего нету.
Good evening.
Evening.
Ничего нет.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of... Good evening.
Evening, Doc.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me...
Нерва, блин. Нервов не хватает.
I will see you later. Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
Я думаю, вряд ли. Потому что... Ну, вообще, по идее, я так, ну, как бы, со всей информацией подозреваю, что вампиры, как бы, ну, он же и так вирус подхватил. Очень сильный вирус.
Good evening, Milton.
Он, я думаю, глушит все остальное, так что вряд ли. Во. Во. Давай спросим.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
Хорошо. Один еще. Еще один.
Do you need any medical...
I'm fine.
Do you need any...
I'm fine, Doc. Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
Еще один. Подать.
I'd like to see your...
Wise choice.
Синька. Меня интересует только синька. Вот синька. И не интересно. Так, погнали, первый.
It's safer here than
Никто
anywhere.
не вышел никуда. Вроде нет.
How are you this evening, Jonathan?
The scout...
Scowls are a...
Опа. Да. Вот у нее.
The head of the guard of Prewan stopped by to see Dr. Swansea.
You have nothing to fear. The guard would not risk openly challenging the Brotherhood. Even they are not that foolish.
Now that the hunters are aware of my presence, they could discover your whereabouts too.
Don't worry. I've evaded those jackals in the past, and I shall do so in the future. And besides, who would ever suspect the kind Samaritan Lady Ashbury?
I noticed there was no love lost between the Brotherhood and the Guard.
They share the same fascination in our species, but they diverge from any commonality in thought. Talk to Dr. Swansea if you wish to know more.
Откуда он знает больше тебя?
When we were at the funeral, I had a feeling. I think I met my maker.
You do not have to tell me if you don't wish to.
There is almost nothing to say. He appeared in a gush of blood, prattled off some riddles, and vanished without even telling me his name.
Be on guard, Jonathan. Whoever your maker is, he's obviously as powerful as he is elusive.
Да. Вообще не подозрительно, именно рыжие, да. Точно.
Should I not?
In
Charles
most
II.
circumstances, a vampire would not discuss his maker. There is a strong bond that exists between a maker and their progeny.
You certainly hate skulls.
No, not hate. I pity them. Damaged and broken for eternity. Can you imagine, Jonathan? Can you imagine what they must be suffering?
Вот это
Do you think they can be
поважнее.
trusted?
They are weaker than us in every sense. From their abilities to being able to control their hunger. There is a savagery in them.
I would not have labeled them all the same. I've met some that are quite clever, in fact. Much like people.
I am sorry. You should know Skal is derived from slave. Vampires have never looked kindly on their lesser progeny.
Goodbye for now, my lady.
Вот, чуть-чуть про местных вампиров узнали.
Still standing
Perhaps I
after
should have
this
considered
epidemic.
the offer from that
There's good
cabinet
reason to
fellow.
be proud.
Another night. Surely I can endure another night.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Риза.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse.
Так, а этот? Мигрень.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Doctor.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Yes, indeed.
I will see you later.
Чёртова мигрень.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Так, вам дальше. Мышка. Слухайся. Так, идем дальше. Это все в здании. Я бы еще потрындил бы, где он. Вот этот. С ним. Полынца. Да нечем мне вашу мигрень лечить. О. Чё я? По ошибке. По-моему, молодой, который. По-моему, который молодой. Это все втирает про вампиров.
Good evening, Miss Hub.
I need blood.
А? Сумасшедший.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really
гипноз же
know
второй
about
левел теперь, да.
vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I
Теперь
saw
у кого
his
был второй
terrible
левел,
wounds heal as his
можно будет
victim
это
died. And then I knew I was
поговорить.
saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Ну где этих убивали, я понял. Ну, первых вот этих теней. Давай так
You have
скажем.
no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You
Можно
must
сходить.
stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange and ancient beings that were here before this island even had a name.
Да, в темноте там обитают. Он перед тобой стоит.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know?
I saw.
You
ну
mean
я
yes.
понял.
you have...
Why fear the truth?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your
Почему это
nocturnal...
светится? Подожди.
Good evening, Miss
I
Howcroft.
need blood.
I'll leave you,
Ладно.
Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal...
Damn.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
How close are you to Miss
That's all.
Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Ну,
So
это
do you
он
let her
зря.
bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Пару капель она все вытягивает.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all
Она
this
его где
shit.
так
No
кусает?
offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Не совсем, он врач. Офицер, но он врач. Он был вместе с вами, он же вас и
How is your
вытаскивал.
stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses
был
gave me
наоборот.
a bunch of pills.
Сначала тот спросил.
No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Да, вот,
Tell me what really happened.
этот
then.
тема.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Героем хотел себя
Why
выставить.
lie about
Герой,
it?
блядь.
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Да.
You know you can't hide forever. One day you'll have to face your loved ones. Until that day, you have no chance of real recovery.
My friends all died in the trenches. It's shameful enough to be alive with these stupid scars. I don't want my children to see me like this.
Ой, блядь, шрамы у нее это, блядь. У меня на теле столько шрамов. Это все нормально.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that
это
aren't you
забывай.
afraid? She may hurt you if the...
She's
Да,
quite...
да, убьет, съест это.
You told me before you don't want your children to see you like this. Do you have any other family?
My sister Agatha has raised my nippers since their mother died. Don't want them to look at me like this.
И тут и тот, ну,
Your
сестра
sister's
поймет,
not
а
a child.
детям какая разница?
I'm sure she has nothing but respect for a wounded soldier,
домой ждут.
and you are her brother.
You don't know my sister Agatha.
Живым, блядь.
She may be young, but she's all discipline
Живой.
and morality. If she ever found out what really happened,
She doesn't have to know.
she's a sly one, my sister. One day she'll find out the truth and knock 7 bells out of me. Nah, I'm better off here.
How could children despise their father injured in the war?
What do you think? They saw me. Once. My poor angels left the room crying. They keep on having nightmares every week, my sister told me.
Ну да. Охренеть, блядь. Вот им снятся кошмары, вот им это, конечно.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Ну и что дальше? Домой вернись, дурак, блядь.
The pain.
Тем более не один ребенок,
Here
а,
again.
я так понимаю, что двое, блядь. Вот он, шрам у него покоцанный, вот он это покоцанный. У меня половина тела все шру, блядь. Не половина, ну, много. Это... Прямо и похер. Всем остальным. Вы чё все здоровые, а? Вот с ними я хотел поговорить.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
У вас хорошая это, реклама, вот это.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Вот, я с ним потому что не разговаривал. Оставаться давай. Я его оставил в покое, чтобы он не вылетел.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to
Ты имеешь в виду,
communicate,
где
sir.
это, где
Would
отметка
it help
крови?
if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful
pos-
is your
da
throat,
posмотрим.
Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Ну и нахрена мне ее убеждать? Я же вроде пошел.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized?
My
Да,
mother.
да, да. Я только что...
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
As for me, what a blunder.
Блин, мне... Это...
Good evening, Doctor.
Хочется столько мест сходить. Столько всего посмотреть. Столько всего пооткрывалось.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Игра, конечно, охеренная.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Нифига.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Это да, с одной рукой он ничего не...
Tell me
толком
about the
не сделал.
doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Он нахрен уже взял на себя. Я толком не может контролировать во время
Tell me
операции.
about your injury, Harvey.
Первый.
Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me, and now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Давай вот
You
так.
can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick, unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself, but I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
А твоя-то вина тут всё.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died
Он
during
тут,
the
причем он
bombings.
тут в чем виноват?
I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Ellen didn't bring them with her that night.
Говорит, тут, конечно, у всех
Goodbye for now,
прям
Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
охренеть можно.
Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything.
Так, а это молодой этот или? Вроде это молодой этот. Врач. Вот он.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Вот он же потерял, по-моему. Давай вот так начнем.
I
сразу.
located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
Это он, по-моему, еще.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
You have my support, Dr. Strickland. I know exactly what it feels like to battle an unknown disease with only your mind and force of will to help you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You don't know what that means to me.
Tell me more about your...
Harvey,
what is
Да,
it?
да, да, да.
Goodbye, Dr. I can't let Strickland put his
А
patients at risk
опыт-то
with
растет
opium.
потихонечку.
Perhaps
Потихонечку.
an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
Какой у него четвертый? Хрена себе.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. the benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before.
Не согласен, не
But I
согласен,
believe
держи
this
его при
hospital
себе.
could use all the
Высказался
help
и
it
все.
can get.
В чем
You will
проблема?
agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Да, да. Я помню. Я помню. Морг и окно. Сначала тогда окно, потом морг пойдем.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Tell me, Waverley, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Ну давай, раз ты
If
такой,
you are
давай.
going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
What do you think of Dr. Tippett's opinion of your promotion, Waverley?
Tippett is a good practitioner. Maybe just a little too attached to his prestigious position at the Pembroke Hospital.
Really? That's exactly his diagnosis of you. A little too eager to get promoted? A little bit too proud?
He has the right to think so. But I deserve this promotion. And I don't consider it anything but well-earned.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Да, сколько штук информации, а? И пить.
Still more coming.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Did you know Dr. Ackroyd never reported your experimental research, despite the fact he doesn't agree with it?
Really? I didn't suspect he knew about my work. I must confess I am surprised.
Perhaps he thinks you should realize for yourself the danger of what you're doing.
See how condescending he can be? My God, he can be so irritating.
Открыто.
Did you know?
Really?
Perhaps.
See how...
Tell me,
Harvey,
what is it?
fair question.
Tell me.
He refused.
What doc?
It's a false...
I want to know.
I know.
Self,
But you...
You have.
Thank you.
Tell me,
Harvey,
what is
fair...
this
Do you think... All I...
Tell me,
But we can't...
Это все было.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Головная боль. Да он помрет сейчас скоро.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me...
Так, как? Так, можно внутрь зайти, да? Через окно. Опа. Что там мерцнуло? Опять про эпидемию. Так, допустим. Вот эти же его окна, да? Вот он. Как мне? Там закрыто. Мать пошла.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Вон они болтают, а чё? Четвертый у нее. Врача у этого мол. Левее, куда левее? Понимал? Я понял. Опа.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Не знаю. Скорее всего, нет. Догадался бы. Скорее всего, не догадался. Ну это... Я бы не совсем считал, что это спойлер. Подсказка, да, но не... То есть не по сюжету же. Как бы так. Про морг я помню. Просто хочу попробовать хилок еще сделать. Где мои хилки? Вечно. В принципе. Вот. 3. Ну да, да. Ну, да, так и есть. Я просто не знал, как работает. Да. И тут 3 надо. Тут 30. Тут 6, тут 3. Давай одну сделаем. Остальное похороним. Так. 900 опыта. По-моему, там надо где-то косарь. Если... Блин. Есть вот это. $600. От 6. Вот 8. 80. Посмотрим. Это же я, по-моему. Ой, себе. Эпическое. Я такими вещами обычно особо пользуюсь. Такой прям. Ну, ладно, я подумаю. Реально подумаю. Вот 2000. Следующий удар нужен. Вот он скилл. 600. Следующий будет 720. 2000. 2000. Косарь. А дальше следующий, значит, 2 пока. Вот это я могу. То плюс 60, плюс 80. Это видишь, как бы она, получается, объем увеличивает крови выпитой. Но мне тоже, да, правильно, а мне пока хватает. Мне пока хватает. Блин, ладно. Патроны я бы качал лишь ради того, что можно больше продать будет. Двести 250 тоже касать. Когти, ладно, давай смотрим. Короче, когти 2000. Когти 2000. Это скилл 2000. Это все по косарю идет. Был 600, станет 7. Сейчас от укуса 140. То есть прям норм. Вот потом, вот 600, 100. Так. Вот потом 900. Места до 900. Это прям будет красиво. Вот это вот хорош прям. Это надо качать. Чтобы при укусе еще и хилиться. Все-таки мне вот это надо качать. Потому что выносливость пока... Ну, урон надо оружие прокачать, да и все. Вот, ну, то есть... И весь урон прям закончится. Мне кажется, если прокачать оружие. А укус, он и так... То есть он и наносит урон. То есть... Вот, повышает урон от укуса в бою. Увеличивает количество единиц здоровья, восполняемых при укусе в бою. То есть он, когда будет урон наносить укусом, я еще буду и хилиться. Нет, вот именно что, когда кровь, я хилюсь. Когда он пьет кровь, я хилюсь. Немножко. Там чуть-чуть вообще. Ну вот, грубо говоря. 20%. Увеличивает количество единиц здоровья, восполняемых при укусе. Не восполняет. Всего 20%. Я хилюсь, но это мало. Даже самые хилые, ну, там один удар и все. Тут уже будет 25. Да, 25 мало, согласен, но... 35. Короче, по пятерочке. Да, всего по пятерке. А состояние организма. От фагия там... Короче, там сейчас там до хрена надо. Вот. Сейчас 200 плюс к здоровью. Будет 250. Выносливость. Плюс 60. Плюс 75. Вот это плюс 15% уже хорошо. А потом 100. Потом 100. А это много. 1300. Вот. Я тебе говорю, вот это тратит. То есть ты тратишь кровь свою. Там при укусе, получается, она восполняется. То есть, когда ты кусаешь, еще и хилишься. То есть, я бы, грубо говоря, вот можно было бы выносливости добавить. Всех подряд. Я пока не хочу. Я пока не хочу. А здесь надо... Тот 720. Как бы. Короче, по-хорошему. Я бы, короче, взял сначала... Да. Короче, я бы сначала все-таки... не удар. Взял бы... Вот. Вот это. Увеличивает количество единиц здоровья, восполняемых при укусе в бою. Я бы взял вот это. Взял бы выносливость. И потом можно взять... чтобы урон от укуса больше был. И тогда, грубо говоря, урон ты кусаешь, урон наносишь, еще хилишься. Вот эти две позиции я бы взял. Но тут надо, получается, косарь и косарь. Сейчас мы добежим тогда лучше в город. Я говорю, там похилим народ. И это переночуем, грубо говоря. Там народ отхилится. Еще поболтаем. Там туда тоже много прилетело, с кем поговорить. Там еще опыта дадут. Ну и по пути еще зацепим кого-нибудь. А сейчас 905 единиц здоровья. Или... Хотя сейчас тоже можно поспать. Не, лучше там поспим. Чтобы они целее были. Похилим, поспим. И тогда еще в больнице, получается, опыт прилетит. Я поговорил, там кого-то отхилил. И там прилетит. Да. Да. Пойдем в тот город. Сейчас больше прилетит. Ну, да. Я говорю, сейчас это. А потом пойдем в это. Город тот. Опа, ты куда, родной?
Jonathan, have you got any news about Sean Hampton?
I'm still investigating. In the meantime, I have some questions.
All right, just ask.
О, сколько.
Tell me, Edgar, have you ever heard about a vampire made of blood? I mean, without any physical form, but a shape of blood.
What are you talking about? Have you seen such a phenomenon yourself?
No, I was just daydreaming. Since blood seems to be the key of our existence, I imagined what could be the ultimate state of a vampire.
I see. Well, too bad you didn't see such a creature. It could have been a fascinating subject of observation.
What is the antagonism between your Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole and the Guard of Prewin?
It is an old and sad story, Jonathan. The story of a betrayal and of a definitive schism.
Давай А
How
сколько
many
вас?
are you in the Brotherhood?
You mean today? Not many. A dozen, perhaps even less since the war. We are scholars, Jonathan. We favor quality to quantity.
Ну так я его видел уже. А это как бы
Who
добавляет, да.
betrayed who?
I suppose each side would tell you the fault lies with the other. This I know for sure. A long time ago, members of the Brotherhood chose to hunt down vampires.
Tell me, Edgar, how did you meet Lady Ashbury?
I met
Я
her
тот, кто
9
его
years
обратил.
ago.
Я его видел, он
I
такой
was working
красный.
in Scotland at the
Ну, то есть-
time in a sanatorium
А
the
это
good
да,
lady
дом.
visited from time to time. She subsequently offered me a position here, at the Pembroke Hospital.
Да, про его, ну, про его создателя.
Why offer you this position?
I'd already been experimenting with blood-borne diseases and transfusion methods. Without success, I'm afraid. How could I refuse such a fascinating creature? So, in 1911, I took charge of the Pembroke.
Pembroke Hospital. Why that name?
I'm not quite sure. I think it's meant to refer to the Earl of Pembroke. Perhaps it's someone she used to know?
Пересмотри. Там есть встреча с ним. На мосту. Такой, мне понравился. Прям запоминающийся такой. Сделано хорошо прям. Персонаж.
Tell me, Edgar, have you ever heard about a vampire made of
Какой-то
blood? I mean,
запоминающийся
without any
персонаж.
physical form, but a shape of blood.
Я еще вернусь. I'll be back. Ой. I'll be back. Опа, я 14 левел стал. Это как это? Когда? Я ж 13 уже. Или я внимание не обращаю просто на это. Но я, в принципе, и на врагов-то не смотрю, какого они левела. Смотрю только, когда людей дадут пару раз. Дай смотреть. А, нет, 14, все правильно. Я уже давно 14. Пойдем, чувствую. Так, значит, вроде со всеми поговорили. Вроде мы тех, кого могли, вылечить. Так, морг, по-моему, сюда. Еще я не ходил к этому, который это могильщик. Кто могильщиком был. Еще к нему не ходил, надо тоже зайти будет. Так, а здесь у нас тени нет. Что это он такое? Пойдем. Пока вроде. Ать. Перегорожено. Пойдем. Может быть, что-то и расскажет. Да, точно, я ж к ней не подходил, она же здоровая. Точно. Это... Может. Открыл, там, может, открылся у нее. Так, пойдем. Смотрим. Здесь типы обновились. Хотя я мог просто зайти с другой стороны. Это на улицу. Пособираем припасы. Я и говорю, мы можем просто пойти. Хотя бы. Тут пообновлю. Там очень хорошо. А, ты конченый. Ты живой? Вы эти херевшие черти. Я так тоже умею. Вот видел, у меня здоровье восстановилось. Видел? Здоровье восстанавливается у меня. То есть при укусах. Причем, ну, так резво. Вот, а если еще прокачать, будет прям вообще хорошо. Я уже смогу даже какой-то серьезный удар выдержать. Как говорю, вот эта вещь мне нравится. Прям отхил такой идет. Угу. Это как вопросы, да?
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally open to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Да, повторно прооперировать. Часто люди
It's locked, all right.
две, ну, такие вот вещи. Мало кто и людей-то выдержит. Только молодые. В то время вообще было. Что там за дверь? Ходил? А, это дверь. Эти конченые. Тресают. Хочу тратить. Работает. Пойдем. Да, сейчас этой побол. Врачом побол. Пойдем в город тогда, все. Надо в город дойти. Дали бы 3-й уровень, я пошел бы грохнул этих двоих, блять, убийцу и этого торгаша там одного. Ну, в серии в это предыдущий посмотришь там или помнишь, ну вспомнишь его, то есть увидишь, почему я его хочу. Или да, вспомнишь сразу. Как мне плакаты повесить? Это мне не перевести. Так, нам нужно поговорить. Стоять.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
А, да. Понял, я разговаривал с ним, да. Он там выступал, что он это... Кто не ошибается, там еще в таком духе.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Но мы вот с ним на эту тему пока не говорили.
Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
А.
You put a price on hope. This goes against everything you swore to uphold as a nurse.
Report me then, Dr. Reid. Report the little nurse and keep on lying about the surgical errors, the wrong dosages and diagnostics that we all covered for the sake of our colleagues.
Pippa, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
But you're doing something important here. For all the patients who need your help.
We save lives, sure. Each time we send a cured patient home, it's a relief beyond words. But since the epidemic, I feel so powerless.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
Кто там летит? Мешают тебе спать, да? Летает кто-то. Ты туда не допрыгнешь все равно. Не вздумай. Не вздумай прыгать. Ну да, отвернуться и дальше спать. Так проще.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Надо, вот с ним я хочу поговорить еще. Вот посмотреть, что он ответит. Так, врач. Он, по-моему, был... где большая... Где-то вот здесь. Опа. Да. Либо на улице. Да. Здесь. Что мигает-то? А, вот. Вы убраться не пробовали? Так. Водой. Это не...
I'm quite busy right now.
Нет, не. Да, или на улице, да.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Я увидел только либо вот здесь, большом, либо на улице, там, в палатке он. Слева. С левой стороны. Вот он.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
You've nothing to prove, Dr. Tippett, to anybody. And we all praise your experience. Please, have some rest.
I am perfectly fine, and I am not too old for this job.
Да. Добрым здравием.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of
Это
my
он же,
mistake.
я это уже слышал. О.
Who was
Этого
this
не
patient?
было.
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Угу. Скажи еще, я больше так не буду. Ага.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Лечить я вот тебя точно не... Смысла не вижу.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Можно. Сейчас я вот с ним хочу.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins is thinking of leaving the
Я ж к
hospital?
ней пошел.
That's not a surprise.
Oh.
We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be
То
right.
есть его просил,
We
к
should
ней
run
сходил,
away while we
теперь хочу.
can.
Вот у него
Question
открылось.
is, where can we go? Where is it
То есть
safe?
построено все-таки здесь хорошо. Мне нравится.
I'd like to...
Wise choice.
Нету. Так, это рядом ходила. А, по-моему, вон.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Такое себе. Давай, чтобы она нам доверяла. Тоже.
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the
Чтобы доверяли.
I'm not
Вон
proud
она.
of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippett.
А вообще направо не имеет.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Goodbye, nurse.
Короче, накосячит еще раз, мы его это едим. Выпьем. И все. Вся проблема. Коль мне его лечить нечем. Самое, ну, решение проблемы самое простое. Накосячил, все, и сразу, и больше не накосячит. Уже точно никогда. Никто не отмажет. И никто это перещать не будет. Вот убили.
It's here again.
Ну а так видишь, и вопросы сейчас вот эти все поставлены по-другому. Это все по-другому. Так что они, возможно, будут нам доверять. если что прикрыли и его, и ее. Я все-таки думаю, что от нее толку больше, пока он косячит, берем. Будет выступать, она будет, делаем тоже. Передать. Так, ну чё, вроде все. Кстати, косарь опыта уже. Косарь опыт. Так, осталось поговорить с этим. И двигаем в город. Следующий там поговорим. Надеюсь, мы грохнем. Так, он, по-моему, вот... Ну да, а чё нет? Косарь. Косарь опытом. Вот дверь закрыта. Откройте мне. Вот с ним.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Плюс, я думаю, у них должны и магазины, и все остальное обновиться. О.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Tell me the truth.
The regiment...
Please show me one.
Of course.
Да, равно по 15. Не буду я это покупать, не буду. Дорого, блин. Нет ничего. Дорого, дорого, дорого. Все, поем дорого. Так, значит, нам надо... Да. Тут опять эти конченые будут. Сейчас срежем. Тут эти тени. Да пошел ты! Вон. Вот, смотри. Сейчас хилиться будет. Он хил пошел. Еще раз. Вот сейчас хил пошел. Вот смотри, вот, все. И все хорошо. Вот поэтому мне эта вещь и понравилась. И синьки много стало. Так, там я ходил. Да, там мы и пойдем. Чтобы на них не тратить время. Так, вот как раз верстачок. Мне надо вот это сделать. Есть. Вот это по выносливости. Это... регенерации. Огонь. Не, вот на эти будем копить. Копить на эти. Копить на эти вещи. Все, прям. Тут тоже все обновилось. Я себе. Так. Здесь мы вставляем. Здесь мы оставляем. Здесь мы ставим выносливый. Понял. Вот, генерация. О, правильно. Теперь пойдем дальше. А, у меня все попугано. У меня все попугано. Подожди, что там еще мигает? А, кровать. Надо туда. Охренеть. О, этот черт сидит.
Look lively! It's on to us! God walks with me!
Ладно, придется вас валить. Хрен с вами. Вот, сколько сейчас урон? 140. А ты, вот эти черти, короче, крепкие. Прям охереть. Да мразь! Хилься, хилься, хилься. Демоны. Демоны. Да пошел ли вы? Да блин, до него отойди от него. Пошел нахер. Мразь. Вот эти крепкие. Прям очень крепкие. А сейчас. Ну-ка. Ультовать, да, надо было в начале. Да. Ультовать надо было в начале. Ладно. Потом потренируюсь. Вот, мне надо... О, мне надо в этот город. Погнали.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
Your money is the only thing I need right now, Doctor.
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
That woman is a saint. She's living proof that a strong will is sometimes all you need to make a difference.
Так, с ней мало о чем поговорить есть.
Goodbye, miss.
В принципе, оно и понятно. Ладно. Так.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I'll never know what goes on in that place. But as long as people are getting better, I'll stop investigating her.
Закрыто.
Do you need assistance?
Save your time for the people who need you here, Doctor.
Ты ни хрена ты на учебу собрался в воскресенье. Ну, спокойной ночи тогда. Хорошо отдохнул. Это, поспать, отдохнуть. Хорошо завтра доехать.
Do you need assistance?
Save your time for the people who need...
Надо так не надо.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Оставлять не буду. Я не моя. Каюсь.
Against molest.
I'm cheap and I'm clean, I promise. Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll...
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Ни хрена себе, аж игра прогрузилась.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
You sent a man to die because of a stupid vision. I have heard enough of your nonsense. Goodbye.
Good evening, Mr.
Стоять.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sin.
Надо с ним кончать, короче.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Why did you...
I said...
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
А, это забыл, кстати, это. Спасибо, что был, спасибо, что заходил. Вот, забыл. Поблагодарить за это забыл.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
Лечить придется.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
А у него, по-моему, головная
Good
боль.
evening.
Я его не вылечу.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
Faith gives me all I need, my...
No
Нет,
doubt your
придется.
faith will
Все-таки я его вылечу.
prevail. But let me give you some
Может,
extra
кровь получше
protection
станет.
against the devil's work.
И город подымется пока. Пока у меня третьего уровня нету. Пока нет. Третьего
I have
левела
had
у меня.
enough for tonight.
5. Восстановлено огонь. 5 косарей за него. Офигеть.
You again?
Да.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity.
И нормально все.
Please take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
О, так бы сразу.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Аж ты, посмотри.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
She's doing good work. I saw her yesterday and told her she could call on me if she ever felt threatened. Do you know what I mean?
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now, and people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy?
Там охотников на
No one will ever
вампиров.
take my son away from me. If
Они
that
там
ever
другим
occurred,
сейчас всем заняты.
I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Вот этот такой прям норм мужик.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Для начала, давай
Do you need any
посмотрим.
medical help, young man?
I'm feeling okay, I guess.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities, but I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Ладно.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Раз тебя лечить не надо, то... Да ну вот. Да, домик у нас маленький.
It's locked.
Этим, да. К этому... Чего? А, не вы. Погнали. Ить. Опа. Так. Значит. Да. Вот торгашка, а потом каким. Да. Стоять.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Ну,
I
не
will
надо.
see you later. What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward.
Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
А, это я читал, да. То, что у него крыша подсъехала. Это я уже читал.
All your problems, as long as you have the money.
Простуда.
Good evening, my.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if you're
I have no doubt it will. But I'm not against us.
Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
Блин, про нее мало информации. Где почта?
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I can't believe that people are naive enough to trust her medicine. She's just a shady nurse with good connections.
I'd like to see what kind of med...
Восемнадцать. Черт. Это 15. 17. Нет. Патрон много. Патрон. Ладно. Все, пойдем в бар. Бар. Барай. Возле магазина. Так, вот он.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never... Do you need help, sir?
To be honest...
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue with you. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
Really? Free? Don't take it personally, but charity usually comes at a price. Human nature being what it is.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
What do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile. Not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
Do you have any new...
I guess...
Right then.
Вот они. Вот оно. Но это такие. То есть другие рукоятки. Такие синие. начало появляться и курки там, и тут. И вот эти рукоятки. Хорошо. Пяточки. Масло за. Кого заберем? Эти пятнашки. О, блядь. 17. Так. Второй. Вот. Ну, освещение. Так, пойдем-ка и зайдем. Пойдем. Можно к нему зайти, только поспрашивать. Есть что интересно?
Welcome back, Jonathan.
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
We have a lot of diseases, and not all linked to the epidemic. Maybe you could provide medical help to those in need.
How are things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
Do you have many patients?
A few, but most of them just pass through and go back home, especially since those vigilantes stormed the building on the night you were here.
Have there been any more attacks by the uniformed men?
No. It looks like they have found another business to extort.
Да, хрен его знает, кто они такие.
How are things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
Похрен, я их перебил, но...
How are things going in...
Things are go...
How are things... Have there been...
No.
Do you need medical help, Dorothy?
I'm a professional nurse. Rest assured, I'll ask for your help if I need it.
Are you not afraid of dying? The epidemic is deadly and very contagious.
I'm more afraid of being locked in a cell. I've seen what most hospitals do to the sick staff. They keep them hidden to avoid panic.
Do you trust me?
You forced me to resign after you caught me trying to save a dying patient. Of course I trust you. You're a blackmailer, just like me.
Tell me about yourself, Dorothy.
There is not much to say. My real name is Dorothea Crasciunescu. I was born in Romania, and I may have been the best nurse Pembroke ever had, before you fired me.
Do you regret your time at Pembroke?
I miss the energy. There was so much to do, so much to learn. Even though I was double-crossing the board, I felt I was part of something worthwhile there.
Do you think about going back to Romania once the war is over and the epidemic here has been contained?
Jonathan, this war will be over long before you will see any improvement in Whitechapel's sanitary situation.
I hope you've stopped jeopardizing this facility with your illegal business, Dorothy.
Yes, I have. Most of the time. But the blackmail money is too useful to stop it completely. I just target less dangerous people.
Who is the current victim?
I would rather you did not know. You are my client, not my accomplice. Besides, I'm much more cautious since the first time you found me.
Why did you blackmail Lady Ashbury? She's a generous person. You could have asked her for money directly.
She killed those patients, I'm sure of that. I know you like her, but that gingerhead has a taste for blood.
How are things going in the dispensary?
Things are going fine since we made our arrangement.
How are things?
Things...
Show me what you have in stock, please.
Вот 12. Чего ты? Сейчас выпущу. И нечего за. Она хочет. 25. Я хочу. Хочу. Сейчас выпущу. Иду. О. Я вернусь быстро. Так. Продолжим. Поехали. Погнали. Так. А переночевать я могу здесь, да? Ну, здесь не могу. Мне не доверяете? К этому зайдем еще. Чего?
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in.
Подойти.
Yes?
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am all right, Mr. Doctor.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Okay.
Tell me everything you know about
I do not...
Tell me... Tell me...
I do not...
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love? How is Nurse Crane these days?
I don't know what you told her, or what kind of deal you made, but Dorothea seems less anxious recently. Thank you for that, Dr. Reed.
Спокойнее. Ладно.
Goodbye, Mr.
Выходу. Первых. Так, к этому подходили. Еще. Где? Я не буду. Так. тоже мне тут.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
Так, да, еще на кладбище. Кладбище.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Yeah.
Do you need assistance?
I'm all right, but if you fancy giving me the medication, I can put it to good use.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Nurse Crane? Yeah, I heard she's doing all right. Connected and protected.
Goodbye, young man. Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid.
You don't seem well.
I always.
I will see you later. A gun, alcohol.
Это. Идем сюда.
This is despicable.
Раздолбать.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy.
Goodbye.
Так, все, пойдем к церкви. Гоняем.
Its effectiveness has been proven.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
The walls of your home will not protect you, for there is no protection against.
Здесь я, по-моему, ходил. Он не моя.
Good evening, Mr. Nithercott.
And good evening to you too.
Да-да-да, здорово. No.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Видите? Какое?
When she was younger, my mother was a painter and a poet. She told me many times how poor her artist friends were and how she helped them.
My parents pay for my rent, my food, and my clothes. All I have to give them in return is lies they do not believe.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Tell me, in what way, if you such vivid...
Oh, yes?
Do you not...
What? Not much.
In what way, if such vivid...
Oh, yes?
Do you not...
What? Not...
Did you know that...
No.
Да тут нету.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Забыл.
Good evening, Mr. Nithercott.
And good evening.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Do you have a pill for inspiration? No? Too bad.
I'll leave...
Будь говорить.
Hello again, miss. Tell me about... I know you... Camellia. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse... Hello. Come on, girl. Smile. Don't you know Dorothy and I have an agreement? We're on the same side. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Я понял.
Very well.
Она не больна.
Goodbye then.
5000. Это бесплатно. Здорово. Так, все. Теперь я точно со всеми поговорил. Это нашел. Все решил. Эти спрятались. Так.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Так, сколько местно. Вон. Опа. Это что такое? чё? Сама. Пошел куда? Такое. А, это прям такой вы.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
За что? Да, сюда. Ладно. Так, всех отхилили, там отхилили. Так. Это исследователь. Вот они. Вот они, я их нашел, блин. Головной боли. Мигрени. Вот они. Головной боли от мигрени. Хорош. Головной боли можно пойти вылечить. Это мне. Я ту вампира строить могу вылечить. Хорош. Хорош. Вот этого могу вылечить. Это так, типа. Этого можно. А это у меня есть, да. Пульку надо забрать. Надо забирать. По-моему, он. Ох ты. Больница. Это наконец-то. Этого. Всех можно. Этих сейчас. Больницу. Да. Пойдем.
You again?
Can I offer you my medical?
The name?
Не надо.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Да. Так. Этот. Здоров как бык. Здорово. Она.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any?
Always.
I can try to help your body heal, sir. But you must stop destroying it.
The war destroyed me, Doctor.
A gun, alcohol.
The Swanborough cordial could be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Штаны под... Там тоже жива цела. Второй это то. Да.
Has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Someday you'll understand.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
The walls of your home will not protect you, for there is no protection against malevolence.
Most of them don't speak English. How am I supposed to interview them?
Так, к ней надо на кладбище. Только эти лазят. Не. Убивать их. Он все равно пиздец. Пираты. Ладно, мне как раз нужен коммент.
Judged for your sins. Even now, he judges your ways.
Come on, we can sort it out.
Где ж он есть, а? И тут бой тут.
Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Кого не...
It's locked, all right.
All your problems. As long as you have the money.
Joe, please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay
Я не знаю, где он. Понять. А мне это вообще просто подбить. Одинаково. А где ты?
Crush the leech, boys! Go on, back to the shadows! Die, vermin! It's one of them!
Блять, достал. Играть дрынно. Так, я хочу... Сразу сходу стоять.
I have wasted
Good evening,
too
Miss
much
Howcroft.
energy for so
How
long.
are you tonight?
I need
Do you require my
my condition.
Well, until the day science finally admits
Конечно.
failure, please accept this little contribution.
Thank you, Doctor. Your efforts are admirable, though laughable.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people.
Why fear?
Да, это был.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activity.
A giant moor
Так, я и хотел
disguised as a
первую
hospital.
вылечить.
That's Pembroke nowadays.
Тоже больна.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, no?
Thank you.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you require medical...
I will be...
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this.
I'll try, Dr. Reed. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening.
Good evening,
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being...
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick off.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Dr.
Ой,
Tippett.
тоже надо вылечить.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Yes, in...
I
Портишь
have no
статистику
doubt
на
about
больнице.
it, but you are still ill all the same. Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Вот они. Вам только кажется.
Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need medical...
No, thank.
В смысле?
Goodbye, Mr. Blythe.
Ты здоров. Второй. Второй получается нет. Ой, ты. Чёрт, совсем с башкой плохо. Как его вылечить? Пока он не за это.
We fought for England, but England won't fight for us.
Понял.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm
I'm capable of dealing with this myself.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so.
I wish...
Thank you.
только сейчас.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
I would have been confused if anyone other than you had asked that question, Dr. Reed.
There is no shame in helping me. Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening.
Is there anything else that's bothering you?
Really?
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you hide such crucial information?
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail. I can't let that happen. I won't.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significantly affects your son's case?
All my son needs is help and comprehension. Not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Лечить.
This hospital
Good evening,
seems
Mr.
to be
I'm
falling
okay.
apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
I have to go now, sir.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr. L.
Evening.
Soldier.
Not real.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have...
Don't think you...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
Раста. Этот конченый. Ну, с башкой. Так, все. Теперь. Да. Да, не знаю. Второй вынос. А это заболел, блин. Его надо этого. Забыл где. Лечить. Можно вылечить и грохнуть. Тем меньше. Открывал. Гонять надо. В больницу. мясо. Ладно, это тоже закончил. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Всем спасибо. Ссылки внизу. Базде расписания это. Эго. Добавляйте вы. Копируйтесь. Избрано. Мотивация 2. Ладно. Всем счастливо. Завтра увидим. Завтра у нас. Все.